this is the Provoke Prawn, and here I'm talking about what features make for the best possible headset, and I want to get your feedback on it. So let me know in the comments what you think are the most important things of a headset's design that appeal to you. I've been talking to a couple of different representatives from various companies about my feelings about what makes the best headset, and I want to talk about why, what they are, and why they matter, and see what you think and what your feelings are on it, because it's important, obviously, to get this right. It's a very personal experience, but in this video I'm going to show off what I think is the best headset around at the moment, which is the SteelSeries Nova Pro Wireless. And there are a number of reasons why this is magnificent, but there are some headsets that do things better than this, so I'm going to show you that later on as well and talk about that. Obviously, comfort is a very important part of any headset design. It needs to be lightweight so it doesn't nag at your head over time, but it also needs to be flexible and extendable and maneuverable, so you can twist and turn the ear cups and get them in a good position so that you've got a nice clamping force. You need it so it extends nicely and fits on your head and accounts for the shape of your head. You also need something that covers the ears and has a good ear cup design so that it's comfortable and plush and maybe good cushioning. Now you can see obviously the Nova Pro Wireless has these faux leather cushions, and I personally prefer that. Some people don't like it because it makes your ears hot, but for me this blocks out a lot of external noise and gives good comfort throughout the day because it's eliminating that sound, but also just has a nice plush memory foam cushioning on it, which is obviously beneficial. However, it might mean that in the summer you maybe get a little bit hot, so it's not ideal, but it's a good balance, and striking that balance is obviously important. But again, this is a personal preference. The other thing that I think is really important is with a wireless headset, and wireless is my preference because it's more convenient to not be connected to your desk if you want to get up and get a drink or whatever, but is to have that dual connectivity. So you have both Bluetooth and wireless. So you can see here the Nova 7s, for example, you've got a wireless dongle for your 2.4 gigahertz, but you can also at the same time pair it up with your Bluetooth, and then you can listen to music on your phone while still getting audio from your PC in terms of game audio or whatever else you're doing. And having that convenience is really important. And I really like it when you see this with wireless headsets, not where you switch between the modes and you have one or the other, but where you can get both at the same time, because it just adds that sort of functionality and the features of it. Now, obviously, a microphone is really important. That's one thing that the Nova Pro Wireless doesn't do that well. Yes, you can hide it away out of sight, but it isn't that amazing. And I'm going to talk about Corsair headsets later on, which actually have a far superior microphone setup in my mind. But obviously, a microphone maybe is an afterthought anyway, because I personally use a dedicated XLR microphone. So if you've got a better quality mic with USB and XLR, then mic that comes in the headset might not matter as much. The other thing that's important is these extra features. So with the SteelSeries Nova Pro Wireless, for example, it has swappable batteries. Now, on a wireless headset, if you've got a built-in battery, over time it's just going to degrade and then eventually break, and you won't be able to charge it anymore, which is obviously frustrating. That's not the case here with the Nova Pro Wireless, because it has swappable batteries that you can take out. Yes, you can still plug it in to charge if you want to. You can see there's a USB-C connection here, for example, that you can plug directly in. But you don't really ever need to, because it has those swappable batteries. So you can pop the battery out, put one in the charger, have the other one ready to go, and basically just swap between them. So it's hot swappable in that you can take those batteries, swap between them, and you can basically keep the headset going. Now, this isn't perfect because the battery is a bit small. It runs out quite quickly, and it has a really annoying system to it where it barely gives you any notice when it's about to run out. You only get a couple of beeps and then you suddenly run out of battery, which is not ideal. So it's not perfect. It's obviously a compromise by having that sort of battery that's a little bit smaller, but it does mean that you've got more longevity out of your headset and also more convenience, because you basically never need to plug this headset in. Now, the really important feature for me personally is the ability to plug in a 3.5mm. So with a wireless headset, also being able to connect up a 3.5mm connection is really important. So you can see the Wave XLR from Elgato here as an example. Essentially what I want to be able to do is to mic monitor a microphone, but not have to plug it in directly to the headset. Now, this is a really rare thing. You don't often see this capability, is to basically connect a 3.5mm connection up to the base station, wireless base station, and then be able to mic monitor without actually connecting the mic directly to the headset itself. And I've only really seen this on the Astra A50 Gen 4 and the Steel Series Arctis Pro Wireless and the Nova Pro Wireless and one other headset that I can't actually remember what it was, but it's very rare to have that feature. It is quite niche, but I think more and more streamers and gamers are using USB and XLR microphone setups, and if you're using a wireless headset, you don't want to have to plug in a wire to then be able to mic monitor, because that's just daft and counterintuitive. So to have that sort of flexibility is really important to me personally. Obviously, I realise that's pretty niche, but I think it's worth talking about. And the next feature that's really niche for gaming headsets and really rare is ANC, so active noise cancellation. You often see this on fancier headphones, but not really on gaming headsets. It's a pretty rare thing. I think the Nova Pro Wireless does it, and one of Razer's Barracuda Pros is another headset, but I haven't really seen it in very many others. And this is a very nice feature to have if you really want to be fully immersed in your game. Now, obviously, you've got faux leather memory foam cushioned ear cups. Those do a good job of passively cancelling out a lot of noise. But ANC helps even more because it blocks out surrounding noise, and it really helps with eliminating simple things like fan noise from your PC. I find it also eliminates traffic noise from outside and other sounds. This really supports the overall experience. Now, some will complain, and I think it's worth noting in this video, you can see on the Nova Pro Wireless on the right-hand side here, there's a nipple on the inside of the headphone design. This is one of the complaints that some people have. It doesn't actually impact my experience. I don't feel it, but there is a little nipple in there, which is another microphone essentially, that helps work out the signal from both inside and outside. So there's mics on both the inside and the outside that work out what you needs to eliminate to help with that ANC. This leads to some comfort issues, and comfort is obviously a very important part of this, so it's worth mentioning that this is a potential issue. But comfort is really important to me because I wear my headphones and headsets basically for hours and hours, like all the way through the working day and into the evening sometimes, and maybe in the morning, so like 12 hours potentially in a day. So having really comfortable headsets is very important, and that is where like those plush, deep, cushioned ear cups come in. And the Nova Pro Wireless isn't the most comfortable I've seen. Actually, I'd probably give that to the Beyerdynamic DT 770s. Those are much nicer, really sort of very soft, velvety ear cushions, nice and large, nice and plush, and just wonderful in multiple different ways. Now, obviously, sound is also highly important too, and this is where I want to mention the Corsair Virtuoso RGB Wireless XT. Now, when Corsair first announced the original Virtuoso, I was really excited because it looked like Corsair was going after a really premium, fantastic quality headset with a really nice look and feel to it. You can see just how awesome looking this thing is. And also, not only that, but it has multiple highlights to it. So it has the connectivity for wireless and Bluetooth, and also has a USB connection on PC where you can plug it in with a USB-A to USB-C connection, and then you can get high-res audio. So 96 kilohertz, 24-bit sample rate, high-res quality sound. So that is a rare thing, again, that you don't see very often on headsets, is that high-res audio, because it's mostly for PC side of things rather than console, because you don't get it on console. So manufacturers don't tend to push it out as much. Now, unfortunately, for me personally, the Virtuosos just don't tick all the boxes. They don't have that wireless 3.5mm connection that I talked about earlier on, and also comfort is lacking. Now, it's a real shame because it's a fantastic looking headset. It's really good quality, and as you'll hear in a second, the microphone is also fantastic. So it is wonderful in loads of different ways, and it does have a 3.5mm connection on the headset itself, so you can see that. So there are loads of things going on here. It is really intelligently thought out, wonderfully designed, great looking, good battery life, fantastic mic, good sound, lots of other things, but it was completely destroyed for me by the comfort. And that's because it has those round ear cushions, which are too small and not deep enough. So the result for me was obviously it squashed my ears. Now you can see them here with the XT and the SE. So the two different editions, basically the same problem. Shallow ear cushions and round, which isn't a natural ear shape. So it ends up squashing my ears on the top and the bottom and giving pressure on the outside of my ears against the drivers. Now, this could be fixed with aftermarket ear cushions, and loads of people do that. I know there's various sources on Reddit talking about all the different ways that you can improve this headset. But for me, it's such a shame that it doesn't tick that box, because I had such high hopes for this headset in a number of ways. But this is my point. This not a direct criticism, of course, constantly. What I'm trying to say is, for the best headset, you need really deep ear cushions, preferably faux leather with nice memory foam cushioning, but also an ear shape, a logical ear shape to them. But one thing the Virtuoso does do well is the microphone, so check that out.
And here I am now with the Corsair Virtuoso XT with it unplugged in wireless mode, and this is the microphone quality when it's in that mode. And as you can see, it captures some fantastic broadcast quality audio without much of a problem. It delivers really great sound.
And then after the Virtuosos came the Corsair HS80, which also has a fantastic mic. Hear that in a second. And ticks some other boxes as well. So high-res audio, but also really soft. So if you don't like faux leather ear cushions, the HS80 has these very soft velvety ones instead, and actually are very nice too. This headset also has more of an interesting design in terms of the head strap. So you can see it has this head strap that sits on top of your head, and also it has more of an ear shape to the ear cushions versus the round ones. So it's actually winning in several departments. Not quite as feature rich, not as much of a flagship headset, so it doesn't quite offer the same level of various different features as the Virtuoso, and yet, of course, they're still delivering pretty flipping awesome goodness in here. Has great battery life, good looking, really soft velvety ear cushions, and a fantastic mic. Good sound to it as well. Loads of different things going on here that make it an epic choice, and one I'd highly recommend as well. So there's been a number of headsets over the years that I would still recommend, and this is definitely one of them. My wife is still using this headset without any problems after quite some time. It's still going nice and strong, and importantly, the mic sounds great as well.
And here I am with the Corsair HS80 in wired mode on the head. You can see what it looks like there. And this is the capture quality of the microphone in that mode as well, which is really, really good.
As you can hear, both microphones from the HS80 and the Virtuoso sound fantastic. They've got this surprising broadcast quality to them, even over wireless, that just makes them like head and shoulders above the majority of other headsets out there at the moment. There are some that still are equal, but most wireless and wired gaming headset microphones are a bit disappointing. Of course, Corsair's always done a really good job with this, so it's surprising that more people aren't jumping on that, but it'd be nice to see. Obviously, not everyone wants to have an external microphone, so having a really good quality headset mic is beneficial. Now, for sound, I've obviously talked about how important that is already, and how Corsair has that high-res audio that not many people have, but also customizable audio is really important. So going back to the SteelSeries headset, for example, I talked about that a bit. There's a lot of customization you can do on PC with the Sonar sound. Now, I've actually seen a number of different softwares from various different other brands as well. Like Turtle Beach, for example, has this superhuman hearing customization. And there are some other headsets with sort of software level customization of audio to do things like highlight footsteps in games and the sound of enemies nearby, and working on that. Obviously, those sorts of things can be very useful. Now, you can get Dolby Atmos and DTS Headphone X and Windows Sonic Sound and various different virtual soundscapes that you can apply to your headset without actually having it integrated into the headset. You can get a lot of those things in Windows now, and on console you can get Atmos as well. So it's less important that that's sort of built into the headset nowadays. But obviously a decent soundscape, good virtual surround sound, good sound stage is important. Large drivers can make a big difference. I know a lot of people want it to be really loud. I personally don't want to deafen myself, so loudness isn't important. Quality is important. Having a good bass and a nice rich audio experience. But sometimes you're willing to compromise. So maybe the Nova Pro Wireless doesn't have the best sound out there, for example, but because it ticks all those other boxes in terms of the quality of other things, is well worth considering. So that is my in-depth look at what I think the best gaming headsets should offer and why these things matter. Let me know in the comments what you think. What matters to you? What don't you care about? What are you not bothered about seeing on a headset? But more importantly, what is the essential things that you need to see before you'd consider buying? Thanks for watching.
You've made it right to the end of the video, you brilliant legend you. If you've enjoyed it, click that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and drop me a comment down below if you've got any questions. If you really enjoyed it, consider joining the channel and see the benefits of doing so. Check out these other videos. You might well find them interesting or useful. And most importantly, have a great life.